Okay, we are recording. We are redoing the BlueDAG webinar series using checklists.
Yeah, sorry folks, for those who were looking for this, it just did not work out well.
Whole place falls apart when I'm gone, doesn't
it? Man.
So anyway, we're going to go over the checklists in the mobile app and so forth. So this was the webinar from originally was going to be November 9th, so we're recording that, and let's get right into it. I'm going to go over here, Mark. We want to start in the portal, right?
Right. Let's start in the portal, or what you'd see on your computer. So this is what it looks like. Paul signed in. Once you notice, there is two that are. That one on the. There's two that are
in a status of conducting evaluation.
Okay, there it is. See, your Paul's portal screen is a little different from mine in that he has 5 columns of information. Mine's different. When I log in, mine, and that's what I was looking for, is the status is the far right column for me, but that just goes to show that each user can determine
custom using the field chooser right here
on the field chooser, right? So I was thinking, okay. So first thing I kind of want to point out, if you're going to use a mobile app, it has to have a status of conducting an evaluation. So here we are. We're going to use this one right here. The title of it is, customer name I should say is new client. The evaluation title is BlueDAG Mobile Demo. And you can see it's under conducting evaluation there. So let's switch over to the
mobile app.
To the mobile.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see if we can get this. All right. Go ahead and select mirroring again in MacBook. There we go. There you are.
Oh, this is going so much smoother. So. You can see right here that I have actually 2 active evaluations. That was back from the previous screen on the mobile. You saw that there was 2 that were assigned conducting evaluation. That's why these 2 are shown up on here.
And you've already logged in and synced.
Yeah, I've already. As soon as you open up the mobile, it'll ask you to log in. And then once you log in, it's going to automatically sync, and it's going to pull over any evaluations that you have that are have a status of conducting evaluation. So in this case, there are 2. So I just did that to show you. It took what, 3 minutes, I think,
to real quick
pull these over. That's there. It's pretty fast. So I'm gonna tap in the purple area on the second evaluation here, and it's pulling it up. Now I want to say right off the get-go, when you're doing this, Paul's shown you how to add a finding in previous seminars. This one we're going to talk about the checklist. So you can add a finding either in the portal or in the mobile app, and you can also do the same with checklists. You can do them in either spot. But the whole idea of a checklist was twofold. One, it was to help people that didn't have a lot of, how would you call that, a lot of technical knowledge.
Or weak in a certain area.
Yeah,
we're not all fluent in every area.
And additionally, there are some checklists that we've created we created them because they're difficult. There's lots of moving parts for it. One is a shower. I tell you, every time I do a shower, I end up taking all kinds of measurements, and because I don't want to go back to my document to see what the codes were, and I can't remember. But if I use the shower checklist, just boom, 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 and I'm certain I didn't forget anything. Same with a well, not so much, but toilet compartments are another one that depending on which way the door swings, is it on the end?
Well, it's got conditional logic built into it.
Yes.
So if you answer a question a certain way, it's not going to take you down a rabbit hole, as we say, of other questions that aren't going to apply. because
Right.
you've answered it to where it negates all those requirements. So it's got that smart logic built in, so it doesn't walk you through all that because it doesn't apply.
In addition, it'll ask you questions that you may or may not think about, such as, is the door opposite the water closet? Is it within 4 inches of the corner? I mean, all kinds of things that
You may not have thought of when you're out
if
there.
you're just staring there going, okay, do I get this? Do I get this? Do I get this? You may forget one of these. So this is really a helpful tool for those. And once you use it a few times, it's very, very quick and kind of cool. So I'm gonna select one of these here. I'm gonna click on Show Checklist, the blue button here. The first thing I want to show you is that there are a couple of these checklists that are, it's not scrolling on your screen. It's scrolling on mine.
We might have sat idle too long.
Okay. Hold on a second here. No, it says
Let
connected.
me stop share and do a reshare. Hang on here. Try it again. Do the mirroring. There you are. You're back up. Now it should scroll. Yeah. If it sits too long, just wiggle it every now and then to keep it awake.
All right. So you'll notice here at the top, there's accessible route. It's in blue. Parking lot is in blue. Restroom is in blue. The rest are gray. So the ones that are in blue are ones that have additional checklists attached to them. Again, it's just kind of additional logic. So let's just take one of these. We'll go with the accessible route for one. So right off the get-go, you can hit geolocate to define where you are if you're out on the site. So I will do that, and you can see where it says getting geolocation. I can move forward anyway. When I'm on an iPhone, by the way, so it would look a little bit different if this was Android. But I selected area description. So prior, like Paul mentioned before, prior to even going out on the site, I identified on the portal some areas that I knew I was going to see on this site. And so there are some of these here, or all of them that I put in there.
Predefined that you did in the portal.
Just because it's easy to do. So yeah. I put those on there. I don't have to use these. I can actually hit the little green button here right next to area not defined and make a new one. So if I click in there, I'm going to type in new area.
Could be parking lot, bathroom 1, 10th floor restroom.
So there it is. So I'm in new area. I can still hit the selection button and pick one of the other ones I want, but I just wanted to show you that you can do that.
And that's what will print in your report.
Right. That's exactly what will print in your report. This comment section here does not print. It's for you, but you tap in here and you can type whatever you want. By the way, I should say that the microphone works good in all of these cases. Sometimes when you're out in the field, it's hard for light reasons or whatever, you can't read, or
use it all the time.
All your
so much
fingers
time.
are like thumbs, like me. I don't text a lot, so I'm not very good at it. This is a place where you can add comments. So say done. Didn't pick it up. Add a comment. I have no idea why it's not working. It must be an iPhone thing.
Yeah, it might be because you're talking to the microphone
okay.
and not the device.
All right. But anyway, it works quite well. I'll try it again when we're putting an as-built barrier. So I'm going to go to next up here. And it starts asking questions. is there an accessible route to the building entrance from the accessible parking space? So it says yes, no, or there's no accessible parking. So I'm going to select that one and go to next. By the way, I'm going to say right here is that, like Paul mentioned earlier, these are all have conditional logic. So there is nothing wrong with skipping questions. You can just go through next, 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 next if you want, but you will definitely see more questions to go through if you just hit next, because if you answer a question, it will eliminate questions. Almost every time it'll eliminate questions from your list. So it's just as quick to go through and answer them as it is to skipping it, which you can skip. So
yeah, like if you were wanting to just get to the blue border,
yeah,
or a sign question that you knew you wanted to do, you can skip all the way through to just to that.
So if you're going to skip all the way through to that, then you should just use the search function rather than the checklist. If you're out on the site and you know that there's a specific issue, then you should either use the drop-down list or the search function if you know that there's only one you're looking for, because it's quicker actually than going through the checklist. The checklist really is, okay, I'm not sure of everything that's wrong here, but I want to go through a list to make sure I don't miss anything. So in any event, I'm going to go through this. Can parked vehicles encroach into the required 48-inch maximum accessible route? I'm going to say yes. So because I said yes, it knows that that is a barrier, so it's prompting me to take a picture. So if I say take a photo, so here I'm going to take a photo of the screen here, and then it says use the photo. So I'm going to do that. You can also retake the photo if you got it blurry or you don't like it. So, take the photo, and you can see down here in the little blue lettering, that is the that's the actual photo. If you tap on that, it'll show you the photo you took. You can re-look at it. You may want to, and we recommend taking multiple photos. Yeah, so
they'll just show up right below that.
It doesn't matter. So I'm going to take another photo.
I have a question before you move on to the next question.
Here's Paul's mixing board here. I'm going to take that one and use the photo. Then you can see it shows two there. Yeah, Paul, what do you got?
Up above, it said, this is a technical deal, it said 48-inch minimum accessible route. I'm assuming, okay, yeah, you have the 13 CBC, but if this was just a standard 80AS or Florida or something like that, it would adjust.
Yeah, the checklists are all dependent on which barrier standard you select.
That's right.
It won't show, it wouldn't show this 48-inch one if you were in Florida, for example.
Right,
because you wouldn't have selected California code.
Exactly, it'd be 36. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you can add comments. You can continue to add pictures. You can whatever you want.
What about as built?
Oh yeah, as built.
Because let's say it was only 30 or 42 inches.
Good point. Thank you. I'm going to click in here into the as built. Right now, did you notice that? I'm going to cancel. Did you notice that this is one thing we're going to get fixed here, but I want you guys to be aware of it. It's minor, but if I click in there, it gets buried by the keyboard. So you just pull up on your screen like that, so you can see what you're typing. So I'm going to hit the microphone, see if it works this time. 36 inches. There it is.
Yeah.
Next. So anyway, we can continue all the way through to each one. At some point, we're gonna get to the end, or maybe we know we've got through the checklist sufficiently enough that we know, okay, I'm confident, I got everything, so I'm just gonna hit save. Well, this is one of the ones that you remember, that if you remembered, was a dark blue one. And it knows that you're doing an accessible route. So it's saying, gee, do you want to do ramps and blended transitions as well.
It's an associated element or checklist.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you do, you just tap on it and it takes you right to that. Again, you can, this one, it always defaults to the area description as not defined, which is not a big deal. If you forget to change that, it'll just end up in the bottom checklist of area not defined. Very simple to move this later on. It's not a big deal. But while you're here, you can put it wherever you want. I'm going to move this to accessible route right there. You can see how it changed. So next, does the pedestrian way provide access between your walk and sidewalk and the surface located above or below the adjacent curb face? Just trying to identify what do we have here. Is it a blended transition or is it a ramp? I'm going to say yes, it does. So doesn't matter in some of these questions whether you answer yes or no. It's not going to, they're not barriers necessarily. It's a means for defining what other questions you may see. So now we already said it was a transfer between these two areas, the curb face and pedestrian, a street. So now we're going to say, it says is a ramp provided. If I say no, it's going to say this is a problem, you want to take a photo.
That's BlueDAG saying there's a barrier here. We need to document this.
Right. So in this case, I'm just going to say no, I don't want to take a photo, but I am going to say no ramp provided. And you can see that was all using the microphone, very quick.
A lot easier than typing.
Yeah, it's very quick. And you know, even I've noticed that sometimes I've typed something in there and it's not quite right. It's very close, but I get the idea and I'm good. I just keep.
You can massage it back in the portal.
We always recommend that you QC a report once you get back to the office. So that's just simple. I don't even worry about that. I just keep going. So I'm going to end this checklist by hitting save. And then it comes up again to say, do you want to do this, or maybe it's another ramp, or on the same accessible route, there may be a blended transition, or.
And it may be you might see multiple elements here for checklists.
Right.
Like it could be 4 or 5.
I'm going to show that next. So in any event, this will give you a chance. If you finish the first ramp and there's another one, it's just asking me if you want to do another ramp. So I'm going to tap the red box, no, that I don't want to do one. And now you'll see that there is, in the new area, there is one item, and in the accessible route, there is one item as well. So I'm going to go back to show a checklist. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to select parking lot. I'm going to give me I've just clicked in the area not defined, the section says not defined. I'm going to select north parking lot, go to next. Is it a public accommodation or a commercial facility? I'm going to say yes, that's what it is. Here's how many parking stalls I have. Is there
a minimum of 5 accessible stalls, including 1 van?
Say there are not enough accessible stalls here. It says, ooh, that's a problem. Do you want to take a picture? Normally I'd take several pictures, but for this demonstration, I'm not going to take any. I'm not out in the parking.
And you've got to read each of those. Don't just read it super fast. Don't just read it super fast with and just gloss over it. I mean, it's real critical that you read the question thoroughly.
You're right. I'm doing it I'm going very quickly for you.
Well, you know, because you created it. I'm not. I don't
want to bore anybody so they can. But you're right.
But I fall into that. I've not read it, and I go, why the heck is that showing up? It's like, I didn't read the question properly.
Which is a very good point, because I'm going to show you this. I've said, I know that I don't want to take a picture. But if you get a question and you go, well, why am I answering this one? Because I already said there's no accessible parking stalls here or something. I shouldn't be being
Right.
asked this. You can hit this blue button down here at the bottom. It says beginning of checklist.
Oops.
And if you click that, excuse me, come on. Why is it stuck on? There's a problem. There we go.
I accidentally resized it, so it might have froze it up for a second.
Oh, okay. Paul's messing with me. So it brought me to the beginning of the checklist. So if I go through this next, it shows me what my choices were. So that will tell you, oh, that's why it showed me this. I clicked the wrong one.
Right.
So you can modify this.
And get it right.
If you don't want 101 to 150, for example, you can say, okay, I'm going to go to 201 to 300. And then
it adjusts on the fly right there.
Yeah.
Or maybe you answer a question thinking it's a barrier and it didn't prompt you for a photo. That's a cue that you didn't read the question. If you're thinking there was a barrier and it didn't ask you for a photo, then you may have answered it incorrectly or read it wrong.
Exactly. Okay. So I'm not going to go through this whole checklist. I'm just going to hit save here.
Oh, there you go.
So now there are 3. It's prompted me for these 3 other checklists. It knows I selected the one for a parking lot. So it's going, okay, you did parking lot. Do you want to do access aisles, parking signage, or parking spaces? And I'm saying, okay, I'm going to do, you're right, I should have done parking signage. So again, this is all based on the standard that you selected at the beginning. So if you selected federal standards, you're not going to get California codes. So this is a California one. So I'm going to select the area. I'm going to go back to north. I'm going to take the same north parking lot. Next. And it asks me, is signage provided at each entrance or immediately adjacent to each accessible stall that states unauthorized vehicles, towed vehicles may be reclaimed and all that sort of stuff, okay? I'm going to say yes. Next. Is the sign at least this size? Say no, it's not. It's too small. Take a photo. So I would take it, in this case, maybe just one photo, but maybe several. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, and you may note the actual size. Oh, it's only 15 by 15 or something.
Exactly. So say no. And as Paul mentioned, here, type my microphone, 15 inches by 15 inches. There we go. Next, and so forth. So you're going to go through the whole parking signage thing. At some point, you're going to be good. You may go to the very end. If you go to the very end, it'll tell you end of checklist, and then it prompts you to save. It saved it. Gives me all these other checklists that I can go through. I might end up doing 15 different accessible parking spaces in the north parking lot.
Yeah, so you might have a retail facility that has 8 stalls out front.
So you just
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
right
you
through.
pick the parking space again, and you could, if you wanted to, if I picked the parking space again, if I wanted to, I could add a new area description, even use I was going to say I didn't want to talk while I was doing it, but I'm going to add an area description and use the microphone for that as well. So here we go. North parking lot, 3rd stall. So this way I can, if I'm in the north parking lot and I want to further identify each parking stall that has a problem, I can do that right now on the fly and then go through all the questions for that particular parking stall. I'm going to just skip through them here. I'm going to save it at this point. Here, let me go through them all. I just want you to see what it looks like when you get to the end. I am going to see more because I'm not answering these. Some of these checklists can be, you know, 80, 90 questions. You would never go through all those questions, but there are so many variables in there that it's necessary. You can see I've got to the end. It says checklist, parking spaces, end of checklist, and then I will want to save that. So I've done this one twice. So, and I'm done. Let's say I'm not going to do the access aisles, but generally you would.
So you save, and it's
done.
There you go. Now you got north parking lot 1. You've got accessible route from public way 1 and new area 1.
Okay.
So 3 findings total.
Okay. Let's see. So let's go to show checklists again. One thing that you can see right here is under the accessible route. You see that little red in parentheses, 1 in parentheses? That shows that there is one. I've used this checklist once, and it has not been synced yet. So it's just a little.
When you say sync, you mean it hasn't been pushed up to the cloud or to the portal.
Right. And I can do that right now, and it will sync. You can see this under parking lot. I've done that checklist once. I've done 1 parking signage, and I've done 1 parking space, and I've done 1
blended
ramp. And blended transition. Okay.
Meaning it's on the device only. It hasn't been pushed up to the server.
So if I hit sync right here, we'll just let it sync up, and you'll see that those will change. I also noticed in the background here, I don't know if you can see it right behind the sync thing, it says 4, it has 4 in the blue there. That's because I've used this, the same
checklist.
Well, the same evaluation several times. So those are old. Generally, if we were doing this for first time, it'd be 0 there.
Yeah.
Until it was synced, and then it would show that there's one that's completed.
Yeah, because we're on the Zoom app and everything, it's probably going a little slower than normal, but actually we're not even on a true Wi-Fi. I'm on a repeater Wi-Fi here, so it's even a little.
I should have done that out here.
It's almost done.
Although it when I first synced it was.
That was before we had the Zoom on.
Oh, you know what else? I got pictures too.
Yeah, it's uploading all those pictures.
Okay. We can jump back to this, but let's go to the.
You want to go to the portal?
Yeah, it should be up to the portal already, although it doesn't show that.
All right, so we are in the portal. I bet it's going to show it in here. So I'm going to click into the same evaluation. And we had, remember we had north parking lot.
Yeah, there they are. They're up, even though it doesn't show it on the.
It's still uploading pictures, that's why. Yeah. So the data's in there, but it's still uploading the pictures, which takes a little bit longer.
Okay, so this whole thing is in green, so they can see all this. Okay.
So I just circled the one in red. Accessible route from public way. Was that one of the ones we did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, new area was another one.
Right.
And why are these in red, Mark?
Well, they're in red because it's if you look up at the very top up there, we recommend once you go out in the field and you do these, whether you do them by checklist or not. Oh, see, it's updated now on mine.
So I'll refresh, and we should have a picture in here.
Yeah. So we always recommend that, although it's not required, that you QC everything that you've done in the field. So when we did this in the field and they came through as a checklist, the system knows that you didn't get to see all the tiering and it doesn't show you the actual finding text and that sort of thing. So we kind of say, look at these that are in red and just make sure they're all actually the way you want them. So which one? You're in the accessible route?
New area. This was the only one that we had a photo attached to it. So it's the new area. You just create, that was when you were doing the example of new area, but you could easily click.
I took 2 photos in here. Can you show me the other photo? So if you click there, see, there's the second photo I took when I was doing this new area one. So when you go to do your report, just like anything else, you can request when you put your report together to show all photos that are associated with each finding, or not. You can just show the main photo, which is one showing on the screen now. So you can also, as you're QCing this, you might have taken, 10 photos of, this parking stall, and showing that the slope is wrong, and maybe you took a picture from way back to show where your level was, and then you took one from up close to show the reading on your level, and you might not have thought it was a good one, so you took a couple more. But this is where you can look, and when you're looking at the pictures, there, please get that up on screen.
I'm just showing what the report would look like here. So here's a finding 7, and then you have the one photo right here with the figure, and then on the accompanying pages, all the additional photos that you took would just show up on additional pages.
So you can also QC those too. You might not want you might want to show select all photos when you print the report, but before you do, you might want to dump a few of those photos that are duplicates or one's better than the other. So this is another reason why you QC on this screen.
Also, right here, Mark, we left this as new area, but let's say we were just tired out in the field and didn't want to define it. Now you just hit you can just hit this little yellow button right here. This little yellow button right there.
I think that's an orange button.
Or orange.
Okay.
So now it prompted. Now I can just change it here. Instead of new area, I can change it to south parking lot stall number 4.
Or however you want to do it. Yeah.
So now it just changed. It just changed that to instead of saying new area, it's the same finding with the same picture. It's just that now the area is defined. You can see the same picture and everything. It's just changed it from new area to whatever you want, just on the fly.
Okay. Hit edit here for this finding up at the top. Edit.
Okay.
And then hit save. And you see down here that it turned black. The finding is no longer red, it's now black. It shows you that you've looked at it,
reviewed it,
saved it. So that's it's just a little, if you get into that good middle of your project, you can tell which ones you've actually reviewed.
And these ones up here still haven't been QC'd yet.
You can also click one of those, any one of those. Start at the top. Here's the way I do it. Start at the north parking lot. That first finding we have here.
Okay.
That one, and then the first finding, is that what the one that's
I'm on it, yeah.
Okay. Then instead of going through and click, you just hit next.
Which is right. Let me just highlight that for them. That's this little toolbar right here.
All right.
You can use that as a navigation tool, and I'm just going to hit next right now, and boom, takes me to the next one.
Next. You can make sure that you got an as-built at all of them. There's a picture associated with all of them, or not. You don't want one, but let's see. I think that's about it. I mean, it's really a cool tool, and I'll tell you where I use it, even though I've done these thousands of times. I think I already mentioned. It gives me a lot of comfort.
Oh yeah.
If I'm in
a new element, an unfamiliar element.
Well, even some of those that I'm familiar with. You pick as many toilet compartments I've done, I would, and I am really confident with it, but it's so dang easy to
Yeah.
jump through this checklist because it prompts you, which way is it, in-swing or out-swing door? Is it, is it at the end of the stall or on the side?
You know what it's like? An analogy is, you know how, I don't know if you do this, but I've done it. It's like, I know how to get somewhere, but I still put it in my GPS.
Oh, yeah, always.
Because I like it to tell me, it reminds me how far I have to go, which way to turn. It reminds me, even though I know how to get there, I'll still put it in my GPS sometimes, and it's kind of like that.
So there you go. That's it. And I mean, you can use checklists or findings however you want to on the mobile app, either one. And what Paul and I were just discussing earlier, what he's starting to use a little more is he'll go in the. Can you show the mobile app again, Paul?
Yeah, let me do a share here. You might have to redo the. Let me connect it here, and now go ahead and do the mirroring again, and you should pop up. There you are. So we're back on the mobile app now.
Okay, so if you go, what Paul's starting to use a little bit more here, just because he understands the terms, and he's all about doing things quickly and accurately. So he will pick his area.
Go to a bathroom and do lab rim height.
Okay, I'm gonna do. Oops. Cancel.
Or pipe insulation.
So you want me to go to a bathroom? I think I have unisex restroom. We'll take that one.
There you go.
And
yeah, and instead of using a checklist or even the tiering, you can say
pipe insulation.
Yeah, and the trick is hit done, and then you have to hit click back up in there. You have to hit a return down on the keyboard. There it is.
There it is.
That's one kind of quirky thing. After you do the microphone, you have to remember to hit the return before you close your keyboard.
So let's do this again. I want to do it so people understand it.
Here, let me show him where you're clicking real quick. So he's clicking on, instead of the tiering right here, he's using the quick search tool, which is right here. He's clicking on this green button.
So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click inside and then the microphone. Pipe insulation. Then I'm
got to hit the return button.
Return, and there it is. In this case, there is 2 to select from.
Actually 3.
Okay, 3.
But you can quickly look through the 3 findings or the 3 barriers and find the one you want. A lot of times they're multiple because they're in multiple locations.
Select that one, do my as-built, missing. There it is, says missing right there, as you can see.
Yeah.
And we're done. We go to add another one. Hit save. That's it.
Take your picture. You're on to the next one.
That's good. So you can see here that we have unisex restroom, first floor, and there's one finding. You can hit. I don't want to edit that.
You're going to show them this little edit button right here?
Yeah. If you click in here, you can hit edit, and then you can go in and type whatever you want in here. I'm going to type right there. So you can also use your voice for this too.
You can edit your finding, customize it, third lav or, purple lav on the east side of the bathroom, however you want to customize your barrier.
Edit finding. Here, done. Save.
Show them the duplicate also in that.
Okay, so I'll hit this. I'm in the. Whoops, I went to add one.
Yeah.
Add. I'm going to go into the unisex restroom. This drain pipe is the same thing on the second floor. So I'm going to go here, hit duplicate. I'm going to select. This one is showing me the original one. Notice that the as-built condition is now blank. As before, it's it said missing. So in the area description, I'm going to select
Move it.
second floor.
And it duplicates everything except for the as-built and the photo. So all your code citations, the finding, any customization that you did to that.
Partial insulation.
That does do that sometimes.
Yeah, see, it said personal. I'd leave that.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't try to correct that in the field on my, this is something I'd be looking at QC.
QC, yeah.
It's just too easy to do. I mean, it's pretty easy to do here too, but it's just not there. So now if we save this one, and you go back, you're going to see unisex first floor, there's one, and then unisex restroom second floor, there's one. And if you open these up, they will be very similar. If we hit this one to edit it, this is the one that says personal. And I'm not going to edit anything, so I'm going to hit cancel. If I look at the first one, this is the one I'm going through, and I'm going to hit edit. See, this one says missing. So same text, just very, and that's really helpful on when you're doing multiple stories, or even, a lot
even
of
it's
stuff on
men's and women's.
Yeah,
everything you
men's and
find in the men's a lot of times is going to be applicable in the.
Exactly. Instead of writing it all up,
Just duplicate it.
duplicate here, duplicate there.
Yeah.
That's all I got, Paul. I'm
That's
looking
good
at my
stuff.
little list of all the things I wanted to mention.
We're continuing to build new checklists. If people have suggestions for elements, we had a suggestion for a gentleman from Colorado suggested one for us.
Transaction counter.
Transaction counter, yeah.
I did that one.
We did that one.
I'm working on an elevator right now, and it's
a biggie.
It's one of those. That's going to be one of those that has. That one might have over 100 questions.
Yeah.
Of course, you won't have to answer all 100, but
it's got to be there.
Yeah, you got to start out as a freight elevator.
Right.
All of those things in order to make it more or less foolproof.
Right.
You have to start at the top, narrow it down, and then get to the
right rabbit hole.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and what's different about the way.
And then you have to do the federal as well as the
Yeah.
California.
It's different. It's nice. What's different about the checklist in BlueDAG than there's the ADA 2011 ADA readily achievable checklist. And I think there's a DSA or DGS checklist. Those checklists are generally kind of more broad and generic in nature. It'll say, do you have accessible parking? Yes, no. Is it comply? But it doesn't walk you through. Is it 9 feet wide? Is the access aisle striped with cross-hatching 36 inches on center?
Yeah, because this is actually going to generate a report, and we want the reports to be very specific, so they know we don't want the finding to say, yeah, your parking stall's wrong. We want it to say it's wrong because it's not wide enough, or it's
got a cross slope over 2%,
or the stripes are wrong, or they're not the right color. We want it to be specific.
Yeah.
In order to do that, you have to ask lots of questions. So,
well, that's it.
I hope that worked for you guys. Let us know if you have any questions or wants to demo something else.
Yeah, I think we covered all the bullet items on this replay, and email Mark or I or Josh or Technicate, any of us. And I think you can even we'll post this to YouTube, and you're probably watching it there now. So that is it. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Great session, and we'll have another one next month in December. See you then. Bye-bye.